What's going on, guys? So, as you probably already know, I received this CX Racing rear sump pan yesterday in the mail, and I couldn't be more excited. It's their SR20 to Miata pan, and I took some measurements, and it looks like everything's gonna fit perfectly. However, I will say that I am a little bit disappointed. I'm in no way sponsored by CX Racing. I've just been a patron for a while. I've bought a lot of their stuff over the years. Non-critical components and such, and I've never had any problems with them, but this is one of their more expensive parts that I've bought, and I'm just a little disappointed, and I'll get to that in a little bit, but let's talk about some of the positives first, okay? First being first, this oil pickup. This thing's a fantastic design. I love it. It's got this cast stainless neck on it for strength. It's kind of got this flat spot for clearance. You know, a little rough on the flange right there, but it should seal just fine. I'm not worried about that. Nice heavy duty tubing, and the pickup design itself is just a really good design. I like this. You can tell that they did a lot of stop and start cold welding on the neck in there, but it shouldn't matter too much because there's not a lot of strain on this piece right here. Like some of the Subaru stuff, if you ever notice, they actually have off the pickup is the support brackets, and there's a lot of strain on that. It could crack the brazing, but you don't have to worry about that on this one. You know, maybe like a little reinforcement right there would be nice, but other than that, I think this is a really good pickup design. So I like that a lot. Now to the pan itself, the design's good. It actually has a really good design. It has a nice step up right here, and it goes into a really good design pan. The welds look great. I mean, just looking at them, nice continuous. Person that was welding them had a pretty straight hand. Can't complain there. Looks pretty good. And then even on the inside, if you look at the root pass, you got nice undercut all the way around. So good penetration, so don't have to worry about sealing there. And even on the thicker flange right here, if you know anything about aluminum, you'll know that it likes to wick away heat. It's a great heat sink, but welding thin to thick, they did a really good job. So kudos to that dude, right? But I'm about to get mad at that dude. However, what's baffling is there isn't any baffling. I already knew that before, kind of off their pictures, but I wasn't 100% sure. But yeah, there's no baffling in here, and I'll have to add my own, which luckily for me, I have the resources to do that myself, but for you guys, you might have to hire somebody if you want to run that. I mean, even simple structure to just kind of keep the oil from sloshing and centrally locating the oil near the pickup, just something, you know, not just an open pan, but you know, what can you do? So there's that. And let me get into the part that really disappoints me, makes me mad, okay? They straight up missed a piece of weldment right there. Yeah, that is light, my friends. Those are my fingers underneath there. Yeah, I don't know if this was a Friday job or, you know, QC was, you know, sleeping or what, but yeah, that's where the oil goes, Jack. Why is there a giant freaking gap there? So, I don't know. They're not answering their phones or responding to emails right now, you know, with what's going on and everything, I guess. They're still shipping stuff out though. It'd be nice to get a little bit of support here, but I'm gonna go ahead and fix that myself. I really don't want to have to send this thing out and have to wait for it and everything else, or you know, whatever the case may be. Luckily I could just fix that. It's a real quick fix, but it's just kind of one of those things. It's like, dang, I shouldn't have to do that for a $500 pan, you know? Also, if you're from CX Racing and you're watching this video, again, I'm not trying to be, you know, inflammatory, but you guys need to send your stuff in better packaging. This is not acceptable. This is just a chintzy box, and you have this. This is what the pan was wrapped in, and also the pickup. And the pickup wasn't secured in any way, and what appears to be damage from the oil pickup just smashing into the pan repeatedly while it was being shipped. And also this corner dug in right there. Pretty good, but I mean, again, that shouldn't really affect performance at all. It's just kind of like, I mean, come on, you know, there was no packing peanuts, there was no foam, nothing. I mean, no bubble wrap, just a layer of saran wrap and a really flimsy box. But I guess the only other little complaints that I have are kind of aesthetic, other than this being just flipped upside down and thrown on a belt sander. I don't know what the RA is on a belt sander, but you know, doesn't usually, machine surfaces don't have these giant valleys. You got a clear big piece, big scratch right there. I mean, you can't tell probably on, you know, the video, but I mean, I can literally feel all the individual little ridges in here super easily. That'll make great for sealing this way. That'll make for terrible sealing that way. Yeah, it should seal just fine. It's just one of those things. It's like, man, I kind of wish this was machined better, or machined at all, I guess you can say. And then, you know, the CNC cutter was moving too quickly, or it was underpowered or something. You can see where it just kind of, you can see the, you know, design the angle of attack, and it was just kind of pushing through it. And it wasn't slicing the material thorough enough as it was moving forward. And you can see it all the way around. It's just kind of this ugly profile. So I'm not trying to crap on CX Racing. Again, you know, you get what you pay for, guys. And for non-critical components, I'm a true believer in the smaller companies and stuff like that, because I think they do have a lot to offer, like CX Racing. They make this pan. Think about it. What are your other options other than making your own pan or getting a few other pans out there that are a little bit more expensive? But now you can kind of see why some of the other pans are a little bit more expensive. There's a lot more engineering that goes involved, or it goes into making some of the other pans, you know, like baffling. Baffling is super important for race applications. Under lateral loading, you want to keep that oil as close to the pickup as possible, and this is just, there's nothing. I'm trying not to repeat myself here, but I mean, $500, this is a $300 pan. Really, this is a $300 pan. What would make it a $400 pan would be very nice machined edge here, very clean cutting around this part right here. You know, just more aesthetically pleasing of a pan. And I'm also trying to figure out how the dipstick's gonna work, because, you know, if you know how these are gonna work, I mean, I might have to modify my dipstick. The dipstick actually goes down into this portion right here, and I don't think there's enough depth for that dipstick to go in here. It may work, but I don't know yet. It kind of just seems like it won't, because it goes down pretty far. We'll see. Anyways, that's just kind of like a menial thing. That's an easy fix. It's just, this video is really just to give you guys a representation of why certain things are more expensive and just better because they're more expensive. You know, I applaud CX Racing for making this pan. I'm glad that they do make a solution, a cheaper solution, even with some of these fixes, right? Like, even though I'm gonna have to weld this myself, and I'm gonna have to make these baffles and stuff like that myself and everything, it's still a really great idea. I think the price should have been maybe like $200 cheaper, $150 at least. Now having it in front of me, looking at it, inspecting it, I think $300 to $350 is more accurate of a price for this thing. But hey, you know, I don't know, maybe the times are changing, things are just getting more expensive. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's just my little first impression of this pan. Anyway, next episode, I'm gonna be making the mounts for the SR in here. So basically gonna be cleaning up the transmission, getting it mated to the SR, swapping the bell housings, getting it mated to the SR, getting it fitted in here. And then, yeah, getting that done. So I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.